So let's get to the Senate race in the state of Ohio, because there's a lot of conversation nationally about the midterms and the damage that will be done to the Biden administration by what we hope is a red wave in the fall in the House, in the Senate. Senate is a more ticklish matter. We have more Republican seats up for re-election than we do Democratic seats. And a guy who is hoping to become a first-term senator from the state of Ohio in November is Mike Gibbons. And Mike joins us now on the ReliefFactor.com hotline. And Mike first has to win the primary in the state of Ohio. And congratulations, I guess, are in order, Mike, because the latest polls that I have seen, not from a campaign, but from an independent group, have you on top in the state of Ohio with 22%. Josh Mandel behind you at 15%. But my guess is with that large chunk of undecideds, you're not relaxing. You're continuing to get after it on the campaign trail in Ohio.
You're exactly right, Bruce. Good morning. I use football metaphors in a lot of my commercials, and I don't believe in a prevent defense. and you being an Ohio football fan, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
No doubt about it. That's Hugh doesn't want to talk about prevent defenses. He would remember that 86 championship game where the prevent defense cost the Browns. But you are on top, but you're on top by a margin that is outside the margin of error. But the largest chunk of Ohioans are still undecided in the Republican primary. Why do you think that is, and what is your strategy to get them from undecided to decided for Mike Gibbons?
Well, first of all, I think it's typical to have a large undecided piece going even into election day, and people are confused. There's a lot of people running here, and and what we're doing is trying to introduce ourselves to more of those people every day.
Well, you can take the opportunity here to do that. Tell them about yourself. You're a Cleveland businessman. Every headline I see with you, Mike, says you have deep pockets and you're spending millions of dollars on your campaign. And I'm always amused by these kinds of headlines as if it's a bad thing to be a successful businessman in America.
Well, it does bother me, and it kind of sticks in my craw a bit. I was born in the inner city of Cleveland on the top of a double on West 77th Street. My dad was then we moved to Parma. I don't know if you know Parma, but Parma is actually the seventh biggest city in the state. And but if you know Parma, it wasn't like we had lots of country clubs or golf. In fact, there was only one golf course in the city. I didn't golf until I was 27 years old. My dad was a high school teacher and a wrestling coach, and basically our family was about sports. I was fortunate enough to be pretty good academically and was able to get scholarships through school and learned about business. We didn't even know a businessman growing up, and I found the business of investment banking. And a few decades ago, I started a firm in Cleveland, Ohio with a desk and a phone, and it's now grown to be one of the larger middle market firms in America. So I've been very fortunate. And, people keep saying, oh, you're not raising money, you don't have support for the outside. Well, the reality is I'm raising plenty of money, but I didn't feel comfortable talking to all the big donors until now. Being an investment banker, I try to make my decisions on the basis of facts and return on investment, and I wasn't worth investing in until I could prove myself out, and I think I've done that now. So we're really picking up the pace on the fundraising.
Mike Gibbons is our guest. He's running for the Republican nomination for Senate in the state of Ohio. It is a crowded race, but according to the Hill Emerson College poll released last week, he is on top of that race with 22% of the vote. Josh Mandel, who has previously run for Senate, state of Ohio, former state treasurer in Ohio, has 15%. J.D. Vance, the author, Hillbilly Elegy, comes in at 8%. Jane Timken, former GOP party chair in Ohio, and Matt Dolan, a state senator from Ohio, at 6%. And you can find more about Mike on his website, gibbonsforohio.com, or on his Twitter site, Mike Gibbons OH. Mike, you have campaigned, and a lot of people have campaigned. Mandel, Timken, I don't know anybody except Matt Dolan who's not campaigning that you are a candidate who appreciates the policies of Donald Trump, and you believe that our country would be better off getting back to that. What do you see that motivated you to run for Senate, and what do you see happening in our country now that, from your perspective, needs to be corrected?
Well, I've got 5 kids, Bruce, and the thing that originally instigated my thought was one of my sons. I mentioned our family's about sports, so I kind of raised my kids the same way. And we had no military in our family. We didn't have relatives that would, introduce that possible path in life to us when I was a kid, and my sons and daughters didn't either. I had one son that graduated from Georgia Tech with a degree in aerospace engineering, joined the Navy, is now a Navy pilot. And my wife and I went and visited him down in Pensacola, and I walked away from there thinking I had to do something. As I said, I started out with nothing, but for this great country, I wouldn't be where I am, and it's my chance to give back.
Mike, everybody in this field is seeking Donald Trump's endorsement. He has not endorsed yet. There have been some headline endorsements. Rob Portman has endorsed Jane Timken, and that brought a flood of kind of other politicos, Joni Ernst and some others who have endorsed Jane Timken. You have the endorsement of Rand Paul. Have you made any inroads toward getting Donald Trump's endorsement, and do you think the 45th president will endorse anyone in this race?
I don't know the answer to that question. I was Trump's finance co-chair, state of Ohio finance co-chair in 2016. I was as active as I've ever been in a campaign, and I did it because largely for the same kinds of reasons I'm looking at for running. I didn't like the direction of the country. I got tired of throwing stuff at my television, I guess, and I saw a guy that said he wanted to fix a lot of the things that I thought needed fixing, and sure enough, he did. I think right now with the Ukrainian situation, you can see that Biden basically, through his compliance with the left wing of his party, has put our country in a very dangerous position. We had, we were energy independent, and he came in and made sure he has the bully pulpit. When you're running an oil and gas company and they say we're going to get rid of oil and gas and we don't like you guys, and then you have some of his appointees saying they want to shut him down, people don't make investment.
Yeah, that's been a big time problem, and it certainly is showing up at the pump. We're seeing that every single day. Mike Gibbons, Senate candidate, Republican side of the aisle, state of Ohio. He's the leader in the polls right now. GibbonsForOhio.com, at Mike Gibbons OH on Twitter. I'm Bruce Hooley from the ReliefFactor.com studios, in for Hugh Hewitt on the Hugh Hewitt Show.